Hey, can you explain the taco thing?
Oh, it's like a hot dog, but a tortilla.
No, the Trump taco thing.
Oh, right. It's an acronym. Trump always chickens out.
Are you referring to his 2004 SNL appearance?
Cock-a-doodle-doo, folks. I'm Donald Trump.
No, I'm talking about tariffs, specifically how Wall Street talks about Trump's tariff policy.
He always chickens out.
Yes, he announces them and backs off.
But not always. Recently, the tariffs were halted by the Court of International Trade. Does Trump know about taco?
Yes, a reporter asked him about it yesterday.
Don't ever say what you said. That's a nasty question.
I don't think Trump likes taco.
No, he does not.
Mr. President, Wall Street analysts have coined a new term called the taco trade. They're saying Trump always chickens out on your tariff threats, and that's why markets are higher this week. What's your response to that?
I kick out?
Chicken out.
Oh, isn't that nice? Chicken out. I've never heard that. You mean because I reduced China from 145% that I set down to 100 and then down to another number? And I said you have to open up your whole country, and because I gave the European Union a 50% tax tariff, and they called up and they said, please, let's meet right now. Please, let's meet right now. And I said, okay, I'll give you till July 9. I actually asked them, I said, what's the date? Because they weren't willing to meet. And after I did what I did, they said, we'll meet anytime you want. And we have an end date of July 9th. You call that chickening out?
Ladies and gentlemen, gents and gentlewomen, welcome back to The Sparkles Show, the satirical sanctuary where the news gets rinsed, marinated, and served back to you. Still spicy, but never inciting violence. Today, we're chewing on something that might just change the American menu forever. T.A.C.O. No, not Taco Bell, not Taco Tuesday, not even tacos with extra guac. We're talking about the political nickname Wall Street accidentally blessed us with. Yes, T.A.C.O., short for Trump always chickens out. And baby, the streets, or should I say, the stock markets, are talking. Let's set the stage.
Okay, here's some of the good news and bad news about TacoGate. When you deal with dictators, wannabe dictators, and cult leaders, that genre of personality, you are dealing with people that are extremely paranoid from the time they were young, and it just gets worse as they get older, especially the more power they get. So when you had TacoGate, you had a woman say that to him on live television that the whole world could see about a group of men that he wants to revere him, think he's a genius, think he has all the power, thinks, and even fear him, like I can take those markets up and I can take those markets down at my whim, right? He wants them to be loyal to him and to just be impressed with him. So for them to call him a chicken, that hit him in a way that nothing else has. I'm convinced, but I've thought of everything that has made him look bad. But he says things all the time that are so ridiculous, but he doesn't feel embarrassed by them because he believes what he says. Like, oh, I could be a scientist. I could be a rock star. Like he believes that that's also part of being a narcissist, is you have these grandiose things about yourself. But to be hit like that will make his paranoia that was probably a 80 out of 100, probably 120 to 150 out of 100. He is not going to trust the people around him the same. He's going to go after his staff. He's going to go after people in his administration. Like, there will be a payment for that. And he'll become more difficult for them to work with. You know, I mean, people joke about his McDonald's. His McDonald's and his fast food eating is because of his paranoia, because he's afraid somebody will poison him. So he wants something that he can just drive up and get, that no one could plan to poison him. That is a lot of what fast food is to him, is just safety. So that's the kind of level we're dealing with. And then to have that happen the way it did, he's going to wonder who knew and who didn't tell him. That's like the ultimate betrayal to him, is you did not protect me from being shamed and embarrassed. So someone's going to have to pay for that. It may be someone in the administration, maybe staff, maybe his general temperament, and it could be the U.S. citizens. He could start throwing that stuff at us just because he wants somebody punished. And so then you might think, well, then is it worth it that we go after him like that and get the backlash? And I think it is, because when you attack their personalities and you're able to hit them in that way, it starts to attack their identity. And it does make them more erratic, but it makes them make more mistakes. And he's already made a ton of mistakes as he's been in here. And those mistakes are helping the people on the right to wake up. And you may not see that in your life, but most cult members leave silently. The good news is I have a compilation on my phone already of just videos this week of people saying they don't want to vote for Trump anymore for a whole bunch of different reasons, not just even financial, or just they're complaining about him and they're angry at him. I get messages all the time from Trump supporters that are upset and confused and want my take or help. So it is happening. And the more erratic he gets, the more that will bother him, because they're not getting the payoff along with him being erratic. And part of why they stay with him is because whether or not they totally believe what he says or even like him, he still makes them feel safe. But when a cult leader gets erratic, they don't feel safe anymore. They don't feel on solid ground. It's like, oh my gosh, what is he doing? Why is he doing that? Oh shit. They start to get scared. And those are things that it's harder and harder to deny. So it is important that we do hit him in that way as many times as we can, but fully know that somebody's going to pay the price for that. And when you're in a type of war like this, you have to be willing to take the hits to help break him down. So I say, keep up with those type of hits and be ready for the backlash, whatever that may be.
We have some news right now. Donald Trump is reportedly extremely irritated that his team didn't tell him about the T.A.C.O trend, referring to Wall Street thinking T.A.C.O stands for Trump always chickens out, as it relates to his trade policy, as it relates to his tariffs. According to CNN reporting, Donald Trump was not just irritated at the question and the fact that people are saying that he's chickening out, but he's very irritated at his own staff because they never briefed him on it. And in the Oval Office, allegedly, that was the first time during that press conference that he heard about the T.A.C.O trend or the T.A.C.O phrase. And to make matters worse for him, the T.A.C.O memes of him in a T.A.C.O, him wearing a chicken costume, they're exploding all over the internet right now as we speak. They have been since Wednesday, since that press conference in which Donald Trump lashed out, saying that it was one of the worst questions he's ever heard and that he never wanted to hear that question come out of a reporter's mouth again. So that's the latest. Spread the word. I'll do a full breakdown of this on my Substack shortly, link to my bio, so subscribe for free. And as always, follow along for all the news you need to know about.
You guys, I feel like, I said it last week, the energy had shifted. I feel like now the wheels have fully fallen off. To have that reporter look that man in the face and risk everything to ask him if he'd heard about the stock traders calling it like T.A.C.O. Trump always chickens out. And his response is going on a list of times that he chickened out as a defense was a masterpiece, and hopefully will be written in the new history books that we have to rewrite after this is all over. And then within hours, the court saying his tariffs are basically null and void. He doesn't have the power to do tariffs. It takes away everything he had been planning and promising and talking about. And without the tariffs, he can't afford to pay for his tax cuts for his billionaire buddies. It's all going to fall apart. There's no way to pay for it now. And he owes all those billionaire buddies a lot because they helped him. And now he's not going to be able to help them. And they're going to be mad about that. Like when the stock market was doing really bad a couple weeks ago, like after he announced the tariffs, I was like, this man isn't trying to intentionally crash the stock market. And then every time it would crash, he'd back off because he did. He always chickened out. And then I realized his ego was too tied up in the stock market. It's always been an indicator to him of how well a president's doing. He said it. He said it himself. So he does. He literally, and I was like, I stopped worrying about the stock market. I stopped even checking it because I know it'll drop and then he'll back out, he'll change it, he'll, and it'll bump back up. And I was seeing what the stockbrokers were also seeing. The traders were also seeing. He does. He always chickens out. I think that was like the most in-your-face narcissistic injury he could get. Just his response to it, where you saw him get like flabbergasted. And whatever retaliation he does, it's just going to look pathetic. And he loses, the more people that point and laugh at him and aren't afraid of him, the better. Because he's losing his power. He's losing his influence. And it just needs to keep happening. It needs to be a rolling wave of people just pointing and laughing until there's nothing left. He is already a shell of a person. He's already expended every ounce of energy, positive energy, no positive energy, but the power that he had is dwindling. There is nothing left. The ship is sinking. And it's going to be fun to watch. I just hope it all makes his blood pressure rise and things go pop.
They say Trump always chickens out. They say taco. They say chicken. They say taco. They say Trump always chickens out. No, I'm not the chicken. You're the chicken. I'm not the chicken. You're the chicken.
Welcome back, fam. So it turns out, over on Wall Street, where hedge funds snort data and analysts dream in spreadsheets, they've been calling Trump T.A.C.O behind closed doors. Why? Because the man loves to threaten tariffs. But just as quickly as he raises that economic machete, he pulls it back and yells, "Just kidding!" China, tariffs. Mexico, tariffs. Europe, tariffs. Canada, tariffs, eh? But almost every single time, just before the blade comes down, he, well, chickens out. That's not me saying it. That's Goldman Sachs whispering in a boardroom full of nervous investors and caffeinated interns. And now, somehow, that nickname, T.A.C.O, has escaped the high towers and floated down to the rest of us like a spicy gift from the financial gods. And here's where it gets messy. TikTok, YouTube, Reddit. White Americans are loving this nickname. MAGA voters, not so much. But moderates, independents, and the politically salty? Oh, they're eating this up with extra salsa. One TikTok stitch showed a woman in a red pickup truck yelling, "I voted for him twice, and the only wall he built was between me and my Medicare." Cut to another guy holding a taco, looking solemn, whispering, "This one's for the farmers who lost their subsidies." Then there's the white dude in Arizona who went viral just saying, "It ain't even personal no more. But when Wall Street calls you T.A.C.O, you probably need to rebrand." Sir, not rebrand, recalculate. Because apparently, tariffs, trade wars, and Twitter beefs do not a solid economy make. Hey fam, why T.A.C.O works so well? Let's break it down. T.A.C.O isn't just catchy. It's symbolic. Tacos fall apart if you overstuff them. Trump's policies? Often overstuffed with bravado and undercooked on execution. Tacos are messy. So was that NAFTA renegotiation. Tacos look good in photos, but sometimes taste bland when you bite in. Sound familiar? It's as if the universe decided the most appropriate metaphor for America's tariff-touting commander-in-chief was a $2 food truck item with a soft shell and a weak spine. And hey, if the crunchy ones fall apart under pressure, the soft ones just collapse on contact. Poetic. Now, before we go any further, shout out to all the video originators and stitches covering this. Y'all are the real ones. That one TikTok creator who spliced the T.A.C.O nickname into a cooking tutorial. Genius. That YouTube stitch where someone photoshopped Trump's face onto a taco with the caption, "Extra sour cream." Historic. Article culture. Satire. We don't claim ownership. We salute the creative forces fueling this hilarity. But let's not get lost in the meme and forget the meaning. Because T.A.C.O didn't come out of thin air. This is Wall Street's shady little nickname, birthed out of economic fear. Trump would announce a tariff on Chinese steel on Monday. By Thursday, investors would panic. By Friday, he'd walk it back in an all-caps tweet like, "We're making a great deal, folks. The best deal. Maybe no tariffs." Sound familiar? Now rinse and repeat for Mexico, Canada, Japan, the EU. Even India got a taste. But the pattern was always the same. Big threats, big headlines, but no follow-through. The global economy would flinch, then sigh in relief. The MAGA base would cheer. But the Wall Street crowd, they'd update the T.A.C.O scorecard. And here's where things get extra juicy. The very base that cheered for those tariffs, the rural MAGA voters, the small business owners, the manufacturing plant workers, they started realizing that T.A.C.O's bite never really landed. Except sometimes, it landed on them. When the soybeans couldn't get exported, farmers cried. When factories laid off workers due to retaliatory tariffs, panic. When inflation rose because imported goods got taxed, tears in aisle 4. Now, some of them are mad, real mad, that Trump always chicken out nickname? It hit them like a ghost pepper taco on an empty stomach. Unexpected, undeniable, unforgiving. And now, some of the very people who wore red hats to the grocery store are whispering in parking lots. Maybe Wall Street was right. It's unclear whether T.A.C.O is just a funny internet moment or a true branding disaster. But let's not forget, memes move the needle. Remember Sleepy Joe or Crooked Hillary? Trump himself weaponized nicknames. Now the internet's returning the favor. And there's something divine about that. Karma? Maybe. Irony? Definitely. T.A.C.O? Absolutely. Let us not forget, this ain't about hating one man. This is a roast, not an indictment. But it's also a reality check for America. If your commander-in-chief is nicknamed after the international symbol of fold and retreat, maybe it's time to reevaluate your spice level. And if you're a MAGA voter, maybe ask yourself, did I get served steak taco dreams but got gas station mystery meat? Did I expect boldness and get bluster? Did I sign up for America first but get farmers last? Wall Street called it first. The internet made it funny. Now the people are catching cruise, and T.A.C.O is officially on the menu. That's it for today's Sparkles show. If you stayed till now, drop a taco emoji in the comments and tell us, is it satire or is it prophecy? Huge thanks to all the original creators and stitches who inspired this episode. We see you, we appreciate you, and we never take credit for your creativity. Until next time, stay spicy, stay skeptical, and remember, don't be a taco unless you plan to bring the heat.